All right, now will I be able to get to that? I think I'm live, but then I'm gonna have to go find it, which is always a pain for me. So you'll have to give me a little bit for it to pop up. Or somebody share a link with me to the live so then I can find it if you got my text. Because I'm assuming I'm on here, but I don't know. Because it won't let me go into my videos and pull up the live and I don't get the notification, so then I don't have a chat. Let me go to Morgan's maintenance maybe. Live. Here we go. Gosh, I hate YouTube. There we go. Miss Maintenance just sent it to me. It's crazy. I'm the person who has the channel. I'm the person that goes live, and I cannot get into the live without having somebody send it to me. So now I'm finally back in the chat. What's up, 19 Rappy? Roy said, have we moved? Yeah, apparently I glitched out and it wasn't coming back on. I waited for about 5 minutes and it never did come back. So I think the camera's backwards. That it is. Y'all got to see my robe he told back there, and you gonna make fun of me. Yeah, anytime before I start the live on this, I've got to text myself a link to it to my iPad just so I can open it and get into it, because I can't access the live until it's over with my own self. Now you guys can go find it and get into it all you want to, but the person who's actually in it, I can't access it. Yeah, I moved my internet thing back to this side of the barn or this building. And now whenever I go out that door towards my truck or anything else, I think it's putting me onto my mesh that's in my house, which isn't very close, and it's through brick walls and everything else. So I'm eventually going to just run more mesh things out here. But I'm kind of trying to wait until I get at least my roof on or whatever else before I start running wires and all that kind of stuff. Like the real world use on the cobalt kneeler. Yeah, that's the one I keep here in my garage, and I use it on all kinds of stuff around here. Most of the time out in the landscape or here lately on all this concrete out here. Garage look good. Look 99.9% straight. Yeah, it's pretty. I've got it pretty well. I came the The block guys, again, I didn't do the block. I paid somebody to do that just because I didn't want to do it by myself. And I've never really done that much at one time anyways. I've only patched in stuff. I'm sure I could do it. I didn't want to do it. They did a really good job. Like, I didn't have to, like, it was 100% level. So basically all I had to do was bottom plates, and then all my studs are all the same height, double top plate. Now, once I got into the concrete that's running up through here, I kind of made it match on this side. Since I'm going into it from over here, I made it match the existing floor as far as the kind of slope towards the front. So it has a little bit of a slope to it. So I just basically framed up all the studs, and then I came out here at night and shot my laser to my top plate of the new section, and then I just went and cut them all off and then put the top plates on. So it's 100% like around the top level. Now all the walls are pretty good. It's came out pretty good. 0.00. I don't know if I got my digital one out there or not, but it's laser level. It's probably 0.00. I think I've been using my plate level, so I haven't had my digital one out there. But will you ever take down the original structure? I doubt it, because my buddy who's helping me is determined that that's what I'm going to end up doing. So like everything we've done, he's been like, oh, you know, you're going to want to take this stuff down one day and whatever. You need to make this floor even with the other one. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm never going to take down that other building. This is going to be, because it would gain me right now, like having this wall behind me. Say, like, if you're looking at this wall, I'm going to have another storage thing behind that. I need more wall space than I need floor space, if that makes sense. Like, it's more important to me to have more places to put shelves or things on a wall. So like if I took down this wall, I'm still going to have the same amount of wall space. That's just going to give me floor space. I'd rather have more wall space. So I don't think I ever will. I mean, there's not to say that I won't ever, but I'm not planning on it. The Marshalltown ones I have a hard plastic bottom, much more comfortable. I thought about buying the Pike Out one just to keep in my truck, but I don't know that I ever will, because I've got a spot where I could click it in pretty easy and it could just stay there. But I kind of cut down one of those Husky ones to fit in there pretty well. I like those Husky ones, are super comfortable. Like, they're $15 at Home Depot. They're probably the most comfortable kneeling pad that I've ever used. Like, they're like this thick. It's like a memory foam mattress almost. And they're pretty cheap. I mean, for 15 bucks. So they're pretty hard to beat. Steve said, can we start him with fun to get him a new clock? Yeah, I've given up on it. I have to change the battery on that thing like every week, it seems like. I think ever since I cut that second hand off, it's doing something to it. It keeps time. Like, I can put a new battery in and it keep time for a little while, but it's done something to it to make it work overtime on eating up that battery. Missed maintenance is number one. Do you know if it makes any difference to use USB-A to USB-C charging cable that the vessel comes with, or if you use a USB-C to USB-C cable? I don't really know, to be honest with you. I always just plug mine up with whatever. I don't pay attention too much to the end that I've got plugged into the actual power source. So I probably have used both over the course of time, because I just use whichever one's on my desk up here, which I think I've got like a little, I got one of these on clearance at Home Depot back there one day. It's like a magnetic charging pad. I got a bunch of stuff plugged into it, or I'd pull it out here, but it's got like 2 or 3 of the older USB slots, and then some just receptacles. So that's mostly what I've been using, is the old USB to USB-C. Now, if I'm using, sometimes I'll charge them in my truck using my M18 stuff, like the top off or my M18 Lite or whatever. And in that case, I have used USB-C to USB-C, but I don't know that I've ever paid attention that if it's drastically faster or not. I'm not sure. Mine, I've used both, I'm sure, but I've never used a USB-C plugged into a wall socket, I guess I should say. All my USB-C to USB-C has been plugging it into an M18 something or other. Woodchuck says A to C is usually slower. Yeah, so I got the zip sheathing. I got these nails for the M18 nailer to try out. I just ordered 1,000 to make sure they're going to shoot in there. So these are 2 3/8 ring shank, hot dip galvanized for the 21-degree nailer. So I made that post about asking about the Metabo. So I'm going to try doing it all with that M18, but I just don't know if I want to do it all with that M18. But these should be good enough for even my roofing and all that stuff if I really want to use them. But I'm going to make sure they shoot in there first. That's why I only ordered 1,000 to make sure they're all right. I don't know if any of you guys have ran Metabo nails in your M18 framer. If you've got it, you can let me know how well that's worked out. I think I've already ran, I think the other nails that I bought and used his nailer for that were framing nails, I think those were Metabo nails too, if I remember right, but I'm not positive about that. So I know I'm going to do, Elliot said or Abraham said, we're excited to see what you're going to do with the exterior. I know on the front, I'm doing vertical siding of some sort. I don't know if I'm just going to do the 4x8 panels that of LP that look like they've already got the grooves in it and all that stuff. That's actually what the add-on on our back of our house. That's what we use for that. So it would kind of be something that we've already got on our property. I know I'm using it on the front because the front has so much of a weird slope to it in different spots because of the way they slope this floor that I don't want to do anything horizontal unless I want to come up and like use a board at the bottom and get that level and then do horizontal. But I'm going to do vertical from the porch, underneath the porch area down. And then on that gable, I'm probably going to do horizontal siding, lap siding, because that's what's on our house. I still haven't decided on the sides and the front for sure if that's what we're going to do or if we're going to do the board and batten. But it's going to be something along those lines. Got your zip tape and roller. Yeah, I bought the roller a long time ago for another job, but yeah, I got zip tape and I've even got a roll. I didn't have to buy any. I've even got a roll of the stretch stuff too for the windows. I had that left over. I always keep this with me for whenever I do exterior doors. I go ahead and kind of put this behind the trim, between the door and the trim sometimes. And this is just really good. I mean, you can't hardly beat zip tape just for tape in general. It's pretty good stuff. And then I bought the roller quite a while ago, so at least I don't have to buy that thing somewhere. It's pretty expensive. I think this roller is like, I don't remember, 50, 60 bucks, maybe even 80 bucks. I don't remember. I remember whenever I bought it, I was like, man, that is expensive. And I don't know, other than putting them little Z's in there for your warranty or whatever, it's not a lot different than, let's see, I think I got one in here. It's a lot like this one here. I mean, it's a very similar type thing. This is more for like doing flooring or bigger wall base, FRP, that kind of stuff like that. You can kind of use this, but it's pretty much almost the same thing. You just don't get those little Z's to show up on your tape. I haven't had to buy other than I mean, I already had I haven't bought any screws yet because I've had enough here. I buy them whenever they're on sale. back a long time ago, the Lowe's had them for like half price, and I bought a bunch. So I haven't had to buy any screws. So far I bought the lumber, all the concrete and block and all that stuff. I've got my electrical wire, but all the like little incidental stuff, I've had most of it here. So I haven't had to buy a lot of that. What's up, Kearney Creek Farm? Senco has the least issues. Metabo nails run on all my framers. Yeah, I want to say that's mostly what I've been buying is Metabo nails, because Menards, that's one of the things that Menards carries Metabo nails, and Menards is quite a bit cheaper than Home Depot and Lowe's on like nails and screws and all that kind of stuff. So I've been buying a lot of Metabo, even like my 18 gauge, 15 gauge, all those nails. I've been buying Metabo here lately to use in my Milwaukee gun. So Abraham's just been rocking his Noster compact on his electrician tape, and the M12 Surge and M12 Fuel Drill. Love them. Yeah, I have been like, I actually swapped back over on my Surge to the compact Noster because I forgot how much I really liked it. But I think I actually did kind of swap back to the Spider drill pin because just subconsciously, even though I didn't feel like it was really in my way whenever it was bigger, I just think I felt like the Spider drill pin was so much more compact. And now that I've got that subcompact, I've left it on there. I really like it. And then on the tape measure, it's great. I've got a Discord that I have to think of what his name was that was setting it up. It was a couple different lives ago. He was still working on getting it set up, so that's why I haven't gave anybody a link to it or anything yet. But I logged into it anyways. I still don't know anything about it. Woodchuck installed a storm door today. M12 Surge was a dream to use. Yeah, it's not just the sound. Like the sound is like when you first start using the Surge, you think it's not that big a difference in the sound. Like I remember, I was like, yeah, it's quieter, but it's like not as quiet as maybe I expected it because that's the big selling feature of it. But after you use it for a while, especially if you don't use another impact for a while, which right now I'm using my Metabo for all this, but you go back and use like a regular M12 impact and you start ugga-dugging on it, man, it's just like I can't hardly do it anymore. Like I'm like, that is so loud. I cannot hardly even use one anymore. It's a big difference. But it's also, like I said, to me, it's the screw going in. It just glides in almost instead of being such an abrupt impact. Clint used most of his Nosters on tools. Steve bought a Night Eyes clip for his receptacle tester from the tip from Kearney Creek Farms video. Matt said he likes the Husky knee pads too. Yeah, they're for the price. They're very cushiony. Like they're by far the most cushiony one. Like maybe there's times where somebody doesn't want a cushiony one and you want one that's a little harder because whatever you're working on or something. I don't know, but as far as being comfortable, it's hard to beat them Huskies. Apparently, it hit 103 today. Someway said down to 99. We're supposed to get really hot tomorrow. It was super nice last week. Like I couldn't ask for a better week to pour all the concrete and stuff around here. It was really nice. This week it's been still nice, but a little bit hotter. Tomorrow it's supposed to be pretty hot. people in the pregame saw, but today I have a 3/4 Galvy pipe sandwich, 1.5 between blocking. Had to drill holes to turn it with the screwdriver to get it out. Jeff said he wants a surge, but he's waiting on one of his other M12s to die. They just won't. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and probably buy the M18 one when it comes out, solely because it looked like it was putting in stuff a lot, like putting in stuff kind of more at the speed of the triple hammer. So I'm interested in it. I still wish they would have came out with an M12 one instead of an M18, but that also makes me think, well, maybe if at least they were able to figure out on the M18 how to cause the hydraulic impact to have more power or more speed or whatever. So that means hopefully that is going to be a change that they're going to put on the M12 one as well. Dog hair on the concrete. Got the fiber. Now I put the fiber in the concrete as far as the floors, and then I got the they put little pieces of steel in the footer. I did that. I put rebar in the footer and everything too. I did all that steel, but I always put the fiber in all my concrete every time I've ever done it. I figure why not? It doesn't bother me. You don't see it, and it just helps. But the my footers, they put little zigzaggy pieces of steel, and they call it rebar is what they call it. Like you can tell them to add rebar to your concrete. So it's kind of like the fiber reinforced, except for it's actually steel reinforced. Woodchuck said I left my regular M12 out the pasture. Yeah, mine sits in, well, the old one I turned into that 1/4 inch thing just to have out here in case I want to throw a 1/4 inch socket on it. But again, I still very rarely use it because it's loud. But I'll use it like if I'm working on like lawnmower or something like that. But my other one is the one I keep in the house, and Miss Maintenance uses it. But that's why if I get a new surge, like basically my old surge will become my house garage surge, and the new one will be my work surge. Woodchuck said, did anyone notice if the M18 has Moe's the new one? I'm assuming it does. I don't know. I didn't pay any that kind of attention, but the old one does, so I'm assuming it does. Makita 18 question mark some way. I almost thought about buying a Makita tool some way because they've got a coil nailer, siding nailer Makita one on Amazon for like $200. And I almost thought about, do I want to buy a Makita nailer? But I didn't want to spend I really didn't want to spend the money even on the Metabo one, but I at least saw where it did other stuff. So there's a chance I might would use it later, but the stuff I'm doing here on my garage, that's not what I do in my business. It's not to say that I wouldn't do it for somebody and I might would do it later on down the road, but I'm trying to get out of this kind of work at my age and as I'm getting older and stuff, and moving more into the smaller stuff and all that kind of stuff where I'm working by myself. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money because, like, if I was going to be doing this siding stuff in my line of work as part of my job, I'd buy the pass load one that's battery powered and takes the gas, just because of I would rather lug that around than this big Milwaukee framer all day long if I was doing it. But it's not worth it to me to spend $500 on a nailer just to do this and then me never get it out again. I'm not going to get my money's worth out of it. And that would be harder for me to probably sell than maybe a air one or something later on. You can probably sell the air ones a little bit easier because there's more people around here that run siding and stuff and do it all the time, that actually everyone I've ever been around uses air hoses still. So Makita has a Japan only quiet driver. It's got some black Stabilas coming. What's up, Chris? Matt said, if you saw Clint's wall of tools, you just know he has an issue. Yeah, I've told him before. I've said I think you've got the bug worse than me. Actually, I said I don't know very many people that do, but I believe you might be one of them. Mosquito, got to be careful. Might end up as an electrician. No to the Makita nailer. Sorry, Woodchuck said. I've never known anybody that uses. Again, Makita is very slim in my area. Like, I don't know anybody personally. As many job sites as I've been on in the last several years, because like I said, whenever I worked at my facility, it was pretty much me and then the same guys all the time that would come if I had them come do something or whatever it was. But now that I'm actually going to places and other people are working, I'm seeing more people. And I don't think I've seen Makita on any job site I've been on since I've been in my own business. I just don't know anybody that runs them in my area, which they're not very, prevalent in my area as far as in the stores and stuff like that. Because even the only place where you would see them was in the HVAC, like supply houses and stuff. And every supply house in my entire town is carrying Milwaukee. Like, it's their whole store is like red. Whenever you walk into them, now they're way more expensive than Home Depot and stuff, so that's why I still don't buy stuff there. But they've got quite a bit of red in almost every single, whether it's a electrical supply house, plumbing supply house, HVAC, they've all got Milwaukee. Don't talk about black Stabilos in front of him. He has plenty of yellow ones. Yeah, the black digital 16-inch one actually is not a very bad. Like, it's a lot cheaper than the digital yellow ones for whatever reason. I don't need a 16-inch one, but I'd like to have the yellow 8-inch one. But I can't spend the money on a yellow 8-inch one. It's like $270 or something like that, and I don't need one that bad. Michael said he has so many Stabilo levels, but he still wants those black ones too. They do look nice, and they've got different versions. Like, they've got box levels, and then they've got the ones that's got the handles, like my plate level over here and my other level. All my Stabilo ones have like these kind of handles on them. So they got them in that, and then they've also got them that's in box levels, which is like this 8-footer that I got here. This one I got this one off Facebook Marketplace for like $20. 8-foot one. So then they got the box level without the handles. That looks like this one here. Yeah, I got this one. This is a Stabila Type 87. I got this one in a 4-footer off of Facebook for $30. Both of them together, I think it was. I wasn't even going to buy this one. I bought them both for just be straight edges, in all honesty. But this one's actually worked out to be pretty good for a lot of things. Because I mean, for $30 just to get a 8-foot and a 4-foot straight edge, and then also they do work out as levels. Trying to keep my account from being 0.00. Mike says, let me pin this. Mike said, in my tool resale, I rarely run into Makita guys, but when I do, they're all low ballers. Makita rear handle used to be the lightest, but Metabo has them by a pound and cheaper too. And I was looking around on Lowe's. That was almost a big thing for me too. Was Lowe's had the Metabo nailer that I made a post for. It was cheaper on Amazon just to buy the nailer, but you could pay like $50 more at Lowe's and get that nailer and get the free Metabo rear handle for free. So basically, be getting that rear handle for $50. I was like, man, that's supposed to be a really good saw, but I don't need that either. So I talked myself out of that. because I've got the Milwaukee rear handle and it's already on my batteries. I've got my toggle batteries, but then if I keep buying stuff on other battery things, I'm going to end up with the same problem I had before I started buying just Milwaukee, where I had rigid batteries, Bosch 12-volt batteries, Milwaukee 12-volt batteries, M18 batteries. I'm trying not to do all that. Steve said he stopped using Makita when they took the girls off the calendars. Matt said Steve likes that eye candy. Michael said that was a score for those levels. Yeah, like I said, whenever I met up with him, I don't remember what he had them priced for. I was only meeting up with him to buy, maybe I was meeting up with him to buy the 8-footer. I was going to buy only one of the two, whatever it was. I keep the 4-footer in my truck all the time just to use as a 4-foot straight edge. But the whichever one I wasn't going to buy, he basically was like, if you give me 10 more bucks, you know, I'll give you both of them. I was like, all right. Clint said those are his first Stabila. Matt said that rear handle's nice if you've got the 36 and not the 18 volt. Yeah, I will say I have I watch the Awesome Framers videos every Saturday, usually whenever because they're normally released on Saturdays, and he's always using the Makita rear handle saw. 9 times out of 10, that's what saw he's running. And he's like, it does look like it's a pretty nice saw as far as the stuff I'm seeing him cut with it. And then it looks like it's pretty compact, and he's not having any problem, you know, welding that thing, or let's see, wheeling. I don't know the word for that I'm looking for, but moving that thing around, he's not having much issue with it. The Milwaukee one's pretty daggone heavy. Like, I don't like using it just freehanding and stuff. I've got it here. I've been using it. Like, I mean, it's a pretty big and hefty and heavy dude to be out, like, you know, holding it out and just cutting one board. Like, it's fine if you're laying it on sheathing and it's got something to ride on and all that kind of stuff. But just to use it to cut stuff out in the open, it's pretty daggone heavy. Are you going to get the new Milwaukee precision blower when it ships out? I don't know. I want to hear it in person, because on the video, like, I was like, that thing is quiet. Like, but like I said, I've just noticed, and I would have never known this had I not filmed and made videos. Depends on what you're filming on. Like, my phone will purposely, because I've got to think about it whenever I'm filming something. Like, if I'm using an impact, like whenever I'm done impacting, if I'm talking, like, right whenever I'm done, for like 5 seconds, my voice would be really low, and then it'd get back to normal. So I don't know how much of it is that blower is really quiet, or their camera or whatever or microphones were kind of deadening that sound a little bit. If it's as quiet as it was in the video, I'm pretty interested in it. Ott's Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Morgan, make me a mod. It's Steve Ott. Oh, like moderator. I don't even know how to do that, to be honest with you. I don't have any. I'm sure it's in settings or something like that. Backwoods Law said that the P2R2 bits are really nice. Yeah, that's the one that Tools and Tactics has had on his stuff for the last little bit, I think, isn't it? Some ways mostly LXT and now M12, but he has a few Ryobi 18 volt and a Bosch radio. I just finally sold my old Bosch 12 volt radio on Facebook not too long ago. A lady bought it for her husband who had some Bosch 12 volt tools. That's the one I used to use in the garage all the time. And then I bought the M18 So I started using it and I put it for sale. So the only Bosch 12 volt stuff I've got left is I've got 2 of those lights, these guys. With the little carabiner. And I absolutely love these lights whenever I was in Bosch and this was the thing that came out, like until they came out with the other M12 Rovers and all that kind of stuff. This was the number one thing I was missing because I was like, man, I absolutely love this light. Now there's so many lights that are kind of like it that, you know, it's okay. But I've got that. I gave my Bosch planer to my buddy. He's the guy who's helping me on this stuff. I give him tools all the time. I gave that to him. I've got my laser, this one here. It takes the 12 volt. I think that's it on the 12 volt. It's just them 2 lights and that. And then my Bosch 18 volt, all I've got left is my little compact blower that I keep in the back of my truck. It's like the small leaf blower. Milwaukee's got one just like it, but I've got a battery adapter on it. I already had that one, so I didn't buy the Milwaukee one. And I've got my SDS Plus rotary hammer. And then I've got a vacuum that's in the house. Like it's a one that's kind of like a canister. You can just carry it around. That's all the Bosch tools, battery powered tools I've got left. So I've got a few corded. I've got a corded skill saw, a corded jigsaw. That might be it in the Bosch realm. And then a few Ryobi 18 volt tools. I've got a Ryobi. I mostly got weird Ryobi stuff. Like I got a transfer pump that's Ryobi because I don't use one that often. I didn't want to buy the Milwaukee one. And then I've got like this little brush thing that's not very powerful at all, but it still comes in handy sometimes. And then I think that's about it on the Ryobi. I used to have a pump sprayer, like a battery powered pump sprayer type thing that was Ryobi, but it didn't last very long. New M18 rear handle, same weight as the Metabo. Chris sold all his Vito bags from the spring promotion. I couldn't take it anymore dealing with the people on Marketplace. Had to turn to eBay. Yeah, Marketplace is something else these days. I've kind of gotten that way myself. I used to sell stuff on eBay a lot, and then I kind of got away from it. I used to buy more stuff on eBay than what I do now too, but I probably ought to look into that because Facebook is a pain. Some way said around here I see framers with Makita saws and Metabo nailers. What's up, Killtronics? TBG said the Wolf box takes care of my inside blower needs. I really like the Wolf box I've got right now. I really like it so far. And it's not super loud. Like it's pretty good. And it's crazy for the size, how much air you get off of it. Kearney Creek Farm said, what's the next meme tool? I don't know. Clint said, what's the purpose of a mod? Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know that either. Like, I don't even know. I guess they have the ability to, based on just being in places where others are, I think they can like delete people's messages. But I mean, we don't really have any kind of problem in here, in my opinion. Like, we don't have random people popping in and just saying stuff. But I think you get more of that on the vertical lives where it's like looks like a short format or whatever. I think you get more pop-ins on that. That's why the view count's usually higher on those kind of a live versus like this kind of a live where it's horizontal, because like those lives, people scroll through them just like you scroll through shorts. So like somebody might just come upon yours and stay for a little while. versus these, I think, are more like somebody has to actually go click on it in their browse settings or whatever else. It's not in that shorts feed. So I think that's why you might get a little bit more random people who just pop in and say junk on those kind of lives. Matt says the Flexi Click Bosch is amazing. I really like mine that I had. I never had the brushless one, and my guess is it's probably the equivalent of the installation driver in power wise, because the installation driver I liked better than my old Flexi Click just because of the power that it had in comparison. But I like the way the heads connected on the Flexi Click better, and then I also like the heads themselves on the Flexi Click better than the installation driver. But it just didn't. My older version, that was the brush version, it just didn't have enough oomph. I had to carry around an impact with me along with that, versus that installation driver will do just about anything I need it to. But I'm sure the new Bosch one's probably the equivalent. Roby band file's fantastic. Killtronic said, I can't deal with marketplace. People are idiots and don't show up. That's the biggest thing for me, is that somebody or somebody will be like, every time it's, hey, can you hold that for me until Friday? And I'm like, okay. And then Friday rolls around, it's crickets. You never hear from them. So I've gotten to where I just tell people, it's like, if I've got it Friday, yeah. And I said, and if somebody messages me between now and Friday, I'll tell you. I'll say, hey, somebody's going to come get it from me today. So if you can come get it from me today, I'll go ahead and sell it to you first. But if you can't get it today, I'm going to sell it to the other person. And then, because what happens is inevitably you'll have some other person that maybe was going to buy it. And then you'll say, no, I got somebody supposed to get it Friday. And then you don't end up selling it to them on Friday. And then you missed out on the sale that you could have had on Thursday. So I just got to where I don't hold stuff for people anymore. I mean, like I said, I'll tell them, I'll hold it for you unless someone else messages me about it. And then I'll message you and tell you somebody's going to come get it. So either you got to come get it or I'm going to sell it to them. But it comes into the biggest ordeal is just meeting up with somebody. Even whenever I'm buying stuff, sometimes it's not even just selling stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've offered people, like, say they wanted $50 for this thing. I never say, hey, I'll give you 30 and then I'll come get it from you today or whatever. It's like, I just message them, say, yeah, I want this. When can I come get it from you? Like, I never ask people to come down on prices. Never. If I'm not willing to pay whatever you've got it posted for, I'm not even going to ask you about it. So I'm willing to pay somebody exactly what they're asking for, drive to meet them wherever it is that they want to meet at. And yet I still can't make that happen sometimes. So it blows my mind sometimes. German Carmago, did you pick up the new Icon magnetic mat? I haven't. Clint sent me some pictures of it. It says it's in stock at my store, but my odds would say that it's really not, because they always say everything's in stock and I go in there and it's not. But I haven't even been to town this week. I said I might get up early. Well, I'm not going to get up early. I'm always up early. I just normally don't leave. But I might go ahead and get to Lowe's at 6 in the morning and go see if they've got any of those new Klein stuff out. Killtronic said, what's the wolf box? Well, my door's already unlocked, so I'll grab it. It's right there in my door. I probably need to check the charge. Now it's fully charged. Every now and then I don't check it very often. So it's a little blower. It's just a USB-C charge. It comes with a bunch of different heads. Like, you can take these off, change it out to something else. Like, they got one that's a lot more narrow, one to blow up stuff. And basically it's just a pull a trigger. You got 3 different speeds. So here's the lowest. There's the highest. Get a piece of paper or something. That paper's been rained on, so it's pretty tough. I use it to clean my tools, blow myself off. Battery life is actually pretty good too. You can use it for quite a while, but it's really small, like you can see there in my hand. I really like it. Now they sent me that. I didn't buy it, but Matt had had it for a long time, and he had actually told me I needed to try one. And then they so happened to contact me, and I was like, yeah, for sure, send it. Tony said, I tried recently to log back into Facebook just to sell on Marketplace. Having been gone for years, they denied me for whatever reason. Yeah, they won't let you sell on Marketplace until like you've been on Facebook for some, because I remember I had to do that too, because I'm on Facebook, but I'm not under my real name or anything. I'm under a fake name just for Facebook Marketplace. No, because I didn't want to. I can't stand Facebook just in general as the normal thing, seeing everybody's business and all that kind of stuff, seeing people's viewpoints on things that you don't even really know them that well, and you start thinking about them differently and all that kind of stuff. So me and Miss Maintenance got off of it a long time ago. Like, I mean, years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. And then now I'm just on there strictly for Facebook Marketplace. But like I said, it's not really that good of an experience selling and buying on there anyway. So I'm almost about ready to get off of that, get off of it altogether, because I don't even really do that much. Roy said 25 years or so, everyone ran McKee to everything around here, but never see him anymore. We don't have a Home Depot close yet. You don't need a mod. You have an enforcer. The thing most want mod for is so they can put a web addy in. Mods can control the chat, kick people out. Your lives don't have people that need mod. Yeah, that's what I never knew really. I assumed, just again, I very rarely go into other lives. Like I jump in tools and tactics from time to time just because I'm laying around and it's on. I scroll through my TV and I see it up there, so then I'll get out my phone just so I can chat. And then sometimes the tools with Souls, and then I've got on Kearney Creek Farms a few times, but then it's popped out. Like the few times I've got in there, he's glitched out a couple times. The other night he had one. We were at the funeral home. Mods can also look up web links while you're chatting and put them in the chat. Mike said he doesn't hold tools or leave his house until they confirm they've left their house. Clint said that sounds exhausting. Just keep your tools. I've gotten to the point where I'd rather find someone almost to give stuff to than to even attempt to like sell something. Like I said, there's some things where I put the stuff back and we do giveaways on here every now and then, but I got to think about it in the idea of, because again, it's all out of my pocket whenever I do it. It's like how much some things are just, it's stupid to ship them because it's going to cost more to ship them than it is to even buy the thing. It'd be better off for me to buy it on Amazon and ship it to your house than it would. And then that's a matter of, I'd still have that thing sitting here in my garage if that was the case. So I save back all the things that I feel like that's a pretty good bang for its buck, for it's not going to cost me that much to ship this. And then there's certain things where I just like, I'm just going to, like, I've heard my buddy say, oh, I'd really like to have one of those lasers or a laser distance measure or whatever it is. And I end up just half the time just giving stuff to people. just because it's gotten to be such a pain. Mike said, I had a guy selling the ratchet for $185. Twice I was leaving. He said he wasn't free to meet anymore, but he still has it available. Yeah, I've had that happen to me. I can't, that's why I said it's bad enough that I can understand the hard to sell stuff, but it's very odd to me that you can't even buy stuff. It's hard to meet up with people to even buy stuff and me giving them what they're asking for. It's like I'm not even a discount price that you're like, I changed my mind. I didn't want to sell it for that because I found somebody else that's gonna pay me more. You know, all that kind of stuff. What's up, Timinator? Looking for a 3/8 drive pass-through kit. Any recommendations? Crazy Cow. I only have the Klein stuff, but to me that's more of a system type thing. And which the 3/8 sizes you do get metric and SAE if you buy that one set. I bought the Crescent set. I got it in here. I keep it in my garage now somewhere. I think it's in this Klein bag here if I remember right. Yeah. This set's not too bad and for the price. Like you get the it's the Crescent X6, and you get mine are all loose, but you get a rail of SAE and then also a rail of metrics. I've got I didn't do a video specifically on these. I don't remember what the video is. It's something about the Connect sets. Whenever those were first coming out, I did a video and showed these. I don't remember if it was a tool haul or what it was, but they're not bad for the price because I think it was like $30 or something if I remember right. It's pretty cheap. That's the only ones I have is these and the Klein stuff. You mean the Klein bit organizers? I got lucky and picked up a magnetic mat on my lunch. They were there. Also buying them up for themselves. Yeah, the Klein bit organizers is what I'm gonna go to tomorrow and see if I can. If I have time in the morning. Like I said, I got trusses coming tomorrow, and they never told me a time, so I don't want to be like gone when they get here, obviously. But I figure if I get there at 6, I'll be able to get back before any of those places, like a truss company, even opens to even be heading this way type thing. I actually do hear some stuff chirping. Might ought to shut my garage door about halfway. All right, I got to get caught up. Y'all are talking about blower. Now, I had that blower up a long time ago. Let's see. The only thing I don't like about my Makita is the size. Not huge, but not the wolf box. Elliot bought the new Milwaukee one to blow out his air filters on his vacuum and his mini split. Kick off in 5 minutes, and I want somebody to make me popcorn, Miss Maintenance said. Yeah, I'll probably get off here at 7:30 tonight. Ted Cook said Dallas Cowboys. Kiltronic said, Amanda, I want popcorn. Can you send me some? Yeah, I make it on the stove, and she likes that popcorn. Which I don't blame her. Like compared to microwave popcorn, it's totally different. So. Ted said the Dallas Cowboys are not very good. Yeah, I would expect that the Eagles should win tonight. They definitely, obviously they won the Super Bowl last year and they didn't really lose anything. So they should have a really good team again. But you never know. Sometimes, sometimes there'll be a big shift in some team. Like one team that was really good last year, even with the same players, just something happens over the course of the year. And then there's some other team that really stunk and ends up being in the playoffs and everything else. Gear wrench 3/8 pass through is also good. Yeah, I think I got a lot of recommendations for gear wrench, and then also I think Matt just said Husky. I think I can't remember what that video was for. I think it was looking for other options for the Connect, because at the time I made that video, the only Connect set that was out was those first 2 sets that had only SAE, and there wasn't any metric. And of course, that's got metric and SAE both. And I was asking the question if anybody had tried any other brand sockets in the Connect ratchets and stuff like that. So I can't remember. It's not like a video specifically on the Crescent pass-through set, but in that there was a bunch of comments. Husky, gear wrench. I think those were the main 2 that people were saying they were using. Backwoods Law said, happy wife, happy life. Killtronics, I found an air popcorn popper. I like it, but I don't have any popcorn to pop right now. That's usually what ends up happening. Like whenever we want to make some, we're either missing the popcorn kernels or the oil stuff to make it on the stove, which sometimes we used to use just Crisco, but now lately we've been using coconut oil. I think it makes it taste more like the movie theater popcorn. And then I usually put a little bit of butter in there. You'd think that the best thing to be would be, hey, just put butter in a pan and pop your popcorn in the butter, but then it gives it this crazy weird like texture. It's like almost like I don't even know how to, it's like a dense popcorn or something like that. But if you just put a little bit in there, it's pretty good. Woodchuck, what do you use to cover the pan while popping? I've got one that's got a lid on it. So I just put the lid on there. Which popcorn do you use? It's something different all the time. I normally, if I'm at the Kroger, I think I normally get the Orville Redenbacher, but the half the time I just get whatever the dollar stores got up here. I don't know what that is, but it's normally the yellow corn. Like sometimes you can get the white corn ones or whatever else, but TPG said the expression should be happy spouse, happy house. That's right. Everybody forgets about the happy husband. Butter has too low of a flash point. Yeah, like I said, it makes it like it doesn't taste bad, but it's just a different texture of popcorn. Like if you use just butter, but we usually put a little bit in there with it. No Crisco, that stuff is industrial. Yeah, that's what we used to use all the time because that's what everybody used to use all the time. We haven't used Crisco in a long time. We don't even use vegetable oil really anymore. Timinator said used to do Jiffy Pop when he was young. Yeah, that's the kind where the little aluminum foil thing pops up. See, we never did that. We always just made our own in the pan, but it's basically the same kind of thing. My grandma used to use lard, Matt said. Cam 1138 said he can confirm in the old days we used coconut oil. Killtronic has to cut back on the fats. Air pop it is. We used to have an air popper too. We did that for a little while. I don't know if we still got it or not. We used to have one where you just put the kernels in there and then almost had like a little chute at the top of it where it popped it out into your bowl. You guys and food. No wonder y'all need big tape measures. Yeah, so the next hurdle is getting the trusses up there, which I think on this side, I've got forks that like you don't take the bucket off of the skid steer on mine. It's because my skid steer doesn't have like the extra hydraulics to like go get attachments and stuff on it. But I've got the 2 buckets where I can swap them around, but I don't have forks to put on, like take my bucket off and put forks on. But I got some forks that you bolt onto your bucket, like you basically slide them over the edge of your bucket and then tighten them down. I think if I put the truss on the fork and lift it up as high as my bucket goes, it's going to put it pretty close. It's not going to get it up on there, but once I can get it up on there, I think we're good. It's just getting them up there. but I can rig up something to get it up there, even if I just push it up a ramp of some 2x or something or other. But that's really the only big hurdle I've got left, because I cantilevered the double 2x12 out here. So really, the post I've got don't even really have to go in there. I mean, they're going to be there just mostly for looks and just extra little bit of support. But I'll even be able to set that truss and all that stuff out there, and probably just put a small T-post or something under there just to be safe. But that's the only real big hurdle I got left, is getting the trusses up there. But I don't know that I'm going to be setting trusses tomorrow. I'm just getting them delivered tomorrow. Elliot said, hope y'all have a great night and a good weekend. Yeah, you too, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, get inside and make Miss Maintenance some popcorn, I guess, and see if we see the Cowboys lose tonight. It's probably, if I had to throw something at it, that's what I'd say is going to happen, but you never know. And what they call it, any given Sunday. I've seen scrubby teams beat really good teams sometimes. Eagles player ejected for spitting on Prescott. It's already started. But we'll see y'all on Saturday. I did get a guess the trade filmed. So this week is Robert Troopy, and he's got a Apache box from Harbor Freight. And basically, I already say it in there, but just to give you a heads up, he flies to his job like all over. So what he goes and does, he basically flies in and does something for people. So all his stuff has to fit within that box, because he's got a weight limit and all that kind of stuff. So that's why he's got that box, and that tool roll that's in the picture is actually in that box with it. So on the thumbnail. So that's what we're looking at this Saturday. So, but we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good rest of your week, and we'll see y'all Saturday in the chat.